everybody, and welcome to our channel. My name is Sam.
My name is Ryan.
We are back with another tier list. So today, in this tier list video, we will be ranking Broadway stunt casts. Ryan, if the audience doesn't know what stunt casting is, can you please give us a brief explanation?
Yeah, it's just casting me and everything. A stunt cast basically is when you take a show that's already running, and when one of your main characters leaves, you replace that actor with someone who is a very notable celebrity, hoping that their pre-existing fan base will come and buy a lot of tickets and keep your show floating for a while.
So we have gathered a list of 10 stunt casts that we are going to rank today. Let's get into our tier list, shall we?
Let's.
Bottom tier. Left at intermission. You don't even see the rest of the show.
Tier up from that. Good for who? Who is this good for? I'm not even sure this is good for them. Which is apropos because the tier up from that is good for them. They probably wanted this. They probably needed this. They're probably stoked to be there. And you know what? They did a fine job.
Yeah. Next up from that is thoroughly enjoyed. Pleasantly surprised, one might say.
And the tier up from that, standing ovation.
These are the performances that could have been there in the original cast.
First up, we have Daniel Radcliffe in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
Gotta be honest, Ryan, I'm not too familiar.
Okay, so first of all, he played J. Pierpont Finch in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, which is the show and role that I won the 2011 Jimmy Award for. So thank you very much. I have seen Daniel Radcliffe on Broadway, actually not in this, but in a play called Lifespan of a Fact. He's an absolutely fantastic actor. We knew this, but on stage, he's like very captivating. He's great at theater. I didn't get to see this, but his Tony Awards performance was stellar. He's actually a great little dancer. I would put this in thoroughly enjoyed or even standing ovation. The only reason I can't put it in standing ovation is because I didn't see much more of it than the Tony Awards performance.
I would agree. I think I would put it in thoroughly enjoyed because I've heard really good things about this. He's a massive celebrity, so I understand the marketing side of it, and the performance was good too. So I think this is thoroughly enjoyed. Next up, we have Jinx Monsoon in Chicago.
Jinx Monsoon is one of my favorite drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. I absolutely loved Jinx in her season. I was rooting for her the whole time. The only thing that's tough about this is I don't like Chicago very much.
I know. This one to me does land also in thoroughly enjoyed because Chicago, I feel like at this point, everyone that gets added has to be a stunt cast because that show has been open for so long. People know the story. It feels a little tired without stunt casts. It's not giving standing ovation to me, but I've heard phenomenal things about Jinx's performance, and I do think it's a great pairing. I love the RuPaul to Broadway pipeline.
Yes. If this was
it'd be
Jinx
really fun.
Monsoon in anything else, it would be a standing ovation. But because it's Chicago, I can't quite put her there.
So like I said, Chicago is pretty much only known for stunt casting at this point. Previously, we had Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson is Roxy Hart in Chicago. I'm leaning towards good for them because this is after, there was that Pamela Anderson series that she didn't want made that was made about her previous relationship with Tommy. It was called Pam and Tommy. It seemed like she was going through a lot publicly, and this kind of felt like her getting back out there. It just kind of lands in good for them for me. I did see some slime tutorial footage that, again, I can't tell if it was Pam or if it was Chicago. That just kind of had me it kind of just falls middle tier for me.
I'm fine with that.
Cool.
Next up, we have JoJo in Moulin Rouge.
As Satine. Okay. Honestly, this isn't something that I feel like we can really comment on yet, but the stunt casting choice itself, I am here for.
Fire.
Moulin Rouge is a jukebox musical of pop songs, and JoJo is a pop icon. And her voice is fierce. Like
Yeah.
she's gonna kill Firework.
Yeah.
She's gonna kill everything. So like this feels like a great choice to me.
I just love JoJo's gonna kill everything taken out of context.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm using the same logic here that we use with Jinx. Like, if this was any other show but Moulin Rouge, I'd say standing ovation. But because it's Moulin Rouge and I'm not like crazy about the property, I think maybe I would say thoroughly enjoyed. What say you?
Because we haven't seen the performance yet, it
How can
can't
we give
be
it a
standing ovation.
right.
For now, we're gonna put her in thoroughly enjoyed.
Even though we haven't seen the performance yet?
because I know it's going to be good. Her
Yeah,
vocals
yeah.
are
That's
amazing.
the
Like
tea.
she's
That's the
a
tea.
great singer.
That's the tea.
She's a great singer, and truthfully, like the material, like acting wise in Moulin Rouge, isn't like too demanding. So I think she's gonna kill it.
Great. Next up, we have Jordan Sparks in Waitress. I don't think this is a very long conversation.
Standing ovation.
Yeah.
This is easy. Acting, vocals, great marketing pull. Again, like a successful stunt cast.
While we're on the subject of Waitress, let's talk about Colleen Ballinger.
This is one that I was shocked by because in my brain, I just have her as Miranda Sings, who is obviously very popular on YouTube and is associated with musical theater. I remember one of my favorite videos of Colleen that I saw on YouTube first was her singing Defying Gravity as Miranda and Colleen.
Yeah.
Like that was like comedy genius.
I just
like, it was
remember
so
like
good.
when the internet discovered that Colleen Ballinger was actually a remarkable singer on
Yes.
her own. Like that was a moment for the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I actually saw Colleen in this role and she was really good. I honestly kind of felt bad for her because the audience was there to see Miranda Sings. The notion of casting her to get butts in seats absolutely worked, but every time she was on stage, there was this like giggle and jitter from the audience of like, oh, there she is again. And it was like, will you guys just shut up and watch her? I remember leaving with sort of a bad taste in my mouth, but I don't think that was necessarily her fault. I don't know. This is kind of maybe like a good for them for me.
I liked what I heard from her. I do think some stunt castings can fall victim to themselves in a way
Right.
in terms of audience perception and mentality and expectations.
Distract rather than enhance.
Yeah, and so, you know, I would love to see her in more musical theater, like knowing that she is a fan and knowing that it's something that she was so excited to pursue and is excited to pursue. So this feels like a strong good for them. Up next, we have Brendan Urie in Kinky Boots. Vocals are obviously off the charts.
So I've seen Kinky Boots, but not with him in it. I think ultimately you need someone really charming in this role, not someone who's this like amazing, emotionally riveting actor. From all of my friends in the community who did see it, I've heard literally nothing but good things. He did it, he left, and then he returned. I think that he was actually really a fan of the enterprise and there to have a good time and do the work. I'm pushing for this to be orange. Thoroughly enjoyed.
Sure. Yeah,
you're
let's
good
put
with
him there.
that?
Now, up next, we have one of my personal favorite stunt casts to ever happen in Broadway history.
I just want to say this was not my idea. Sam insisted on putting these in here.
Ryan McCartan as Fiyero in Wicked. This, and I'm not just saying this because I love you and you're here. This to me is truly standing ovation, and I'll tell you why. You had audience pull. You did.
I did.
You fully did. You former Disney Channel guy, former cult classic off-Broadway musical Heathers guy.
Jimmy Award winner makes his Broadway debut. They love that story.
There was a great story there. So for the stunt cast marketing side, it's already top tier. And you're a musical theater guy already, and you're so talented that like standing ovation to me means that you wouldn't bat an eye if this was just the original Broadway cast. And you being Fiyero is like original Broadway cast material, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm not gonna fight you to put me in the top tier.
Like you were a phenomenal Fiyero. Like you are standing ovation. And again, not just saying that because I love you. Like it was great casting. In that same theme, what's this? We have Ryan McCartan as Prince Hans, Frozen Broadway. All of the same reasons. I promise I have unbiased integrity here. All of the same reasons. It was great marketing to bring you into a new cast of Frozen on Broadway because it was a new Hans, new Anna, new Elsa.
They were also reteching the show.
Reteching the show.
2.0, yeah.
Yeah, it was a new wave of Frozen. They had new songs, etc. You were great marketing for them. You were from the Disney family again. Like previous Broadway credits, you could bring in an audience, and you absolutely did. The fact that there is hashtag Team Hans merch is proof of this being a successful stunt cast. That merch didn't exist until you became a part of it. So, standing ovation.
Say less. I'll put me up there again. I'm not going to fight with any of this. I mean, no, I actually think that those are all good points. And like, I appreciate that. And you're very nice. But like, I do feel really proud of the work that I did in both of these roles. And I think that both of them made a lot of sense, both for my career and for the show that I was going into.
Exactly. Up next, this was one that I was shocked by. It just feels like it came out of left field. Cody Simpson as Dimitri in Anastasia. I was just shocked by this because to me, in terms of stunt casting, I was like, Cody Simpson? Like, where has he been?
I don't know. I don't think I know enough about him. I don't know if I know enough. I don't know how to feel about this. I honestly, like, I'm not just saying this because we have these, like, two lonely lower tiers, but I'm kind of leaning towards good for who here. Like, Anastasia was the little engine that could. I think it ran longer than people thought that it would. I think that this was a great role, and there was a lot of, like, potential suitors to go in and play that role. And I guess I don't really understand why it was him instead of like just some like bona fide Broadway name that could go in there and just really give it some legitimacy. This was confusing for me. It was confusing for the culture. I mean no ill will towards him. I honestly I don't really know. I'm basing this off of like sort of the politics of the producerial decision rather than on his talent, which I can't really speak to. I didn't see him.
So I did see some slime tutorials of Cody in this role, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Oh, that's great.
Because he is a singer.
Right.
Like
obviously he
but
can sing.
To me, the stunt part of the stunt casting didn't make sense. Like, I didn't feel like there was enough buzz around him. To me, this does feel like it's good for who because it felt so out of left field, and I would imagine obviously he wanted to do it because he was there.
Right.
And again, it's not even like he was horrible, but it didn't make sense. It came so out of left field that I just have questions, which is why it needs to go in the question mark column.
Yeah, the good for who is more of a statement on like producers.
Yeah.
Good for who? Why did you make this call? And less a statement about him being in the role because it seems like he did a fine job.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we have
Cameron Dallas and Mean Girls. Listen.
We've got that lonely bottom tier
We
sound.
do. I honestly, one might say it was like made for him. Again, this is something that like I have empathy for Cameron because obviously he took this job hoping for like good things, but if you're not aware, Cameron Dallas was cast as Aaron Samuels in Mean Girls, and it went viral for the wrong reasons. So the producers clearly, I think, maybe got their money's worth in the end because it became such a meme. The slime tutorials are not good, and you also might have a hard time finding slime tutorials of him singing because he was in the role briefly before they actually cut a few. I think I'm correct in saying a few of his solos.
Bits, yeah. I have a little chuckle about this, but like honestly, this enrages me. It makes me so frustrated and so angry when Broadway producers and casting directors pull stuff like this because it's not fair to him, it's not fair to the audience, it's not fair to the cast members, it's not fair to the stage managers, it's not fair to anyone. Because the fact of the matter is, hiring a social media star to play first string quarterback in your football team makes no sense. You need to cast based on merit. You need to cast someone that you know knows the game. And I don't mean this in a disparaging way to Cameron Dallas, but Broadway is the NFL of theater. It is the top level of theater. People who play roles in the top level of theater should be appropriately cast with that in mind.
Yeah.
This was not appropriate. It wasn't appropriate for him. It wasn't appropriate for the rest of his cast members to have to deal with that. It wasn't appropriate for the stage managers to have to put him in when they didn't even speak the same language, most likely. It's not fair to anyone, least of whom the people who were waiting in the wings to get a crack at this role, who probably had Broadway credits up the wazoo and were ready to do something great, and got shuffled to the side because a social media star could sell tickets to the show, not because people wanted to come and see it and love it, but because people wanted to come and see it and post about how bad it was.
Yeah.
That's not fair to anyone. So
It's
I'm
really
just going to
unfair.
put this in Left at Intermission because that's where it belongs.
Yeah.
And with that, our tier list is complete. I'm loving that me and Jordan are up in the top, just smiling.
Just you and Jordan
Good
Sparks.
for us,
Look at
BB.
you. Look at you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you would love to see a part 2, or if you feel like there are stunt casts that we missed, please comment down below and let us know. As always, be sure to like and subscribe. And we will see you all next time.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye.